dramatic weight loss, divorce, and waking up one day and realizing, hey, this is not the me or the life that I really intended to live. But once that happens, how do you truly transform and create the awesome life that you love? Well, with us today is a guest who's going to share how to transform. She's a transformation and visibility coach, and she has done all of the above and now helps people like you do the same. Welcome to the Goddess Power Show. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who help us all boss up to live bigger, better, and bolder. Lea Gerlock is exactly all of that. She is a transformation and visibility coach who has lost 100 pounds, divorced, and realized she was not living the life of her dreams. So here she is to share how you can do the same. Hi, Lea. Welcome to the Goddess Power Show.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here with you.
I'm
Wow.
thrilled. So we realized we're spirit sisters. We have similar hair. We both love the sun. We both lost 100 pounds. We both divorced. We both want to move to a sunny climate.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's so fun.
Let me just start
Yes.
there because it all ties in. For years, I held myself back both personally and professionally because I didn't have the confidence to even come close to any of my goals. And it all stems from a very, very young age. And it's at least my perception of things that went on. And the truth of the matter is it came down to my beliefs. I truly believed that I was unlovable. The love was conditional. So I made up this story that I am not lovable. English is my second language. So I was put into the public school system and just sort of left to figure things out on my own. So I also thought I was stupid. I was playing catch up. Excuse me. So life became, about appearances, and it was lonely. It was very lonely. And so, what are you going to do as a child? You need to comfort yourself. And so it led me down a path of self-sabotage and sabotaging relationships. Yeah. And it growing up, I was like in desperate mode, like clinging on to um sorry, I just got emotional here. I'm like, wow.
Oh, this is heavy duty, and food is the ultimate comfort, and it also is the ultimate self-sabotage. Do you need some
Yeah,
water? Because you could
no,
totally
I'm
go
okay.
get some water, Lea.
um
Okay, I
I,
hear you. I feel you.
yeah, I don't know where that came from. I was
Your
clinging on.
heart.
Yeah, exactly. I was clinging on um to what I believe that would be my only opportunity of love, because I was always told, if you're fat, that a guy won't want you, and people won't take you serious, you won't get hired. And so you really truly continue on believing this. And so living life with that belief, what happened is, you start off small. So let's say with the food, and you start comforting yourself, and as you get older, you need stronger fixers, right? And
Yes,
yeah, exactly. I mean, so it's not for anybody who wants to lose weight, it's not about the food, it's all
not
about
at all.
that internal battle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's and any choice that I made was based on my past, my fears, my worries, my doubts. So they were not conscious choices.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I was doing, I was making lemonade out of lemons. I just kept on going further in life and doing whatever I needed to do. I had many successes, but I never
Mm-hmm.
looked at them as successes. And I pushed people away because I didn't truly believe that they could love me. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually pushed people away.
Mm-hmm.
And I allowed myself to be in personal and professional relationships where I deserved better than that, but
Wow.
I didn't think I deserved better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I started on a journey of losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had been on many diets before, and it was all for the wrong reasons. It was so that somebody can love me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Were
And
you still married?
yes,
Okay.
yes, I was married. And what I realized today is that all these transitions that I had been through, they were building a muscle of confidence for me to
Mm-hmm.
actually ask for a divorce because
Oh.
and I didn't realize that at the time in order to
Uh-huh.
look at strengths, right? So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and I'll give the example later on when I'm giving some tips.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know, it was an aha moment of I don't want to be like this anymore. And what I did was I never went on a diet again. I decided to make a lifestyle change, and it was a lot of
Oh.
trial and error with foods and what I liked, and it was about what I wanted and what I
Mm-hmm.
liked, not what someone told me to eat or whatnot. So um it, basically, because I want to I don't want to talk too long about the diet thing. I did lose weight, but what had happened was that even though I was skinny and people were all of a sudden giving me attention, I completely pushed them away because I still saw myself as that person that's not lovable,
Wow. Fascinating.
which indicated to me that I had a lot more healing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how did you heal?
So I didn't. I didn't want to deal with my feelings. So I mean I've learned today that our feelings, our emotions are gifts. But at the time, I wanted to really numb myself. So
Yes, numb.
yeah, exactly. And that's why I said later on it became stronger fixes. So I started to drink, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. And I was a functioning alcoholic until I wasn't anymore. And I
Wow.
truly reached, like, I felt trapped. I was a prisoner of my own mind.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't see any way out. It was complete darkness. There was not even a tiny bit of light at the end of the
Mm.
darkness. So I was literally um surrendering at the time to death. I was okay to die. I didn't see any other way out. And there was one night where I woke up, and this was a daily occurrence where I woke up in the garage after I passed out with my head on the hockey bags, my kids' hockey bags. And I woke up, and like I said, it was a daily occurrence, but that morning I woke up and I literally all of a sudden, and I can't explain this, it was, I can't live like this anymore. And from that minute on, I took responsibility for myself. But it wasn't just like losing weight. I needed emotionally to start healing.
Yes. Wait, Leah, where were your kids? Did they find you in the garage?
So my kids, unfortunately, were exposed to, when it got really bad, my
Uh-huh.
kids were exposed to a lot of things they shouldn't have been exposed to. Yes.
And that, you know what, that points to the insidiousness of addiction, because as a mom, that's like our strongest instinct. And then that shows that the addiction was so strong, it could override our biggest instinct, which is to protect our children. And so, wow, that's just giving me goosebumps. But the fact that you were able to overcome that is a huge indicator of your strength and power. So, how did you do that?
Well, I definitely bounced back, but the first thing was to take care of myself. I was so busy taking care of everybody else my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to take care of myself. So I
Mm-hmm.
did. I went to rehab. And the first thing I needed to do was I needed to discern between the truth versus my perception of the truth. So
Mm.
it was really a path of discovery and unmasking. So I had been living with this mask on that led me down destructive, I mean, a completely destructive path. And
Mm-hmm.
so I needed to uncover the truth about who I am. And like I said before, like the choices I were making were not conscious choices.
Mm-hmm.
Once, I mean, I had a lot of aha moments and I was starting to heal emotionally. And it's all about the internal message that we're giving ourselves. Nothing external can make you happy, can make you confident, none of that. But it's who the hell am I anyway?
Right.
It
That's the
was
question.
you lose yourself along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had no idea who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to uncover who the true Leah was.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, I kind of like her, not love her,
Yes.
but I kind of like her. But then, it's not enough just to be aware of who you are and, reevaluating your values and what your strengths are. And that took a long time. There's no cookie cutter path to healing. It's
Mm-hmm.
just having the willingness to see your experiences from a different perspective and allowing to have support in your life, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So Leah, how did you lost weight, you got a divorce, you figured yourself out, you found who you truly are and who you want to be, and the calling to help other people through your own experiences. So can you talk us through that transformation in a nutshell?
Yes. So in the whole part of the healing was getting really crystal clarity on who I am. And the acceptance piece for me was getting rid of all the stories that I've been telling myself for years
Mm-hmm.
and releasing myself from any resentment, shame, guilt, anything like that. And I started to build confidence by changing my internal message.
Uh-huh.
And then what I did was I started taking baby steps towards action, because truly action is what leads to confidence, and confidence leads to more action.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally, because I was able to see who I am and what I'm capable of,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I asked for a divorce, because I felt that,
Oh.
yeah, so it sort of happened like that. And I just knew that I'd be able to handle whatever comes my way. So I wasn't reacting to circumstances in my life anymore. I was able to respond.
Okay.
One of the ways that I did that was, first of all, I separated my self-worth from other people's behaviors and any type of outcomes and what other people thought of me.
Uh-huh.
Complete
Okay.
separation. But when I did get triggered, instead of trying to avoid it and numb it, I really said to myself, like, I stopped and I said, like, what am I feeling? What am I thinking that I'm feeling? And putting the pieces together to be able to respond. Because when you're about to get a divorce, there's a lot of tense emotions going on there. So got divorced. And I'm happy to say I have a very amicable relationship with my ex now.
Great.
This wouldn't be possible if I didn't do the emotional healing and
Mm-hmm.
get rid of the stories that I've been telling myself for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided at age 50 to go back to school. So I'm a retired dental hygienist. I worked for
Uh-huh.
29 years as a dental hygienist.
Wow.
And I decided at age 50, I'm going back to school. I realized that I did a lot of coaching when I was in dental hygiene. But I never looked at it that way because, again, I didn't look that I was helping them. Like, it wasn't me, you know. Uh,
Uh-huh.
one day I was having a conversation with my son when I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do next? And it just came out of my mouth. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to be a coach. And from that minute on, I started researching schools. I went back to school. And when I finished school, so I am a coach. I'm a certified coach, and I have a specialty in transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also an ELI MP. So that's about a transformational assessment that I provide people to really uncover who they are, how they're showing up, especially under stress. However, I wanted to take it a step further. I knew there were a lot of people that don't have support and who can't afford coaching, who can't afford therapy. So I wanted to build a resource for those and give them the gift of hope because I had no hope. And so I was offered a television show.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have a television show where I invite guests on, and we have an interview style show
Mm-hmm.
with people who've experienced adversity, and they come on to share their experiences and how they navigated through it. And
Uh-huh.
now they use those experiences as their fuel.
Wow, that's amazing. And so where does it air? I know you're in Toronto, Canada. So where does the show air?
It's on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and it's a few episodes are on my YouTube channel right now, and it's going to be turned into a podcast.
Oh,
But
great.
what's amazing about it is that any type of transition that someone's been through, so
Mm-hmm.
whether it's addiction, sexual assault, being fired from your job, menopause and anxiety, no matter what the topic, there's something for everybody, and it's
Mm-hmm.
continuing to build.
I love it.
My coaching is I help women and men as well. I've helped break that destructive cycle of masking so that they can finally own their truth and be free to be seen and be visible
Mm.
in our vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. I love that so much. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So what are some of the ways that you do that? First, I want to know, how do you change your story about yourself? Because our minds are in these like ruts and they just keep playing that same old story, and it's really hard to create new pathways. How did you do that?
So we want to trick our brains because when we say I can't, our brain will look for evidence to prove that we can't.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes the other way. So if we say I can, even if you don't believe it yet, what
Uh-huh.
your brain is doing, it's looking to find your strengths.
Mm.
So the first thing you want to do is change your internal message. And it could be something short, like I got this. And you
Mm-hmm.
want to write it down. So let's say you have a big issue that you want confidence in. And so, you write that down, and you write a positive statement down, and you literally say it to yourself 20 times a day. And I know it might seem silly, but this is what happens. We're training our brain. And then what we want to do is we want to turn that internal message into action. But we're not going to run a 5K when we've never jogged before, right? So
Right.
we want to break it down into tiny little steps that are manageable so we don't feel overwhelmed. And if we're
Mm.
consistent with this,
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden you notice that you have more confidence, and you're not being attached to any outcome releases your expectations, instead having the perspective that you're seeking to always learn and grow. So no matter what happens, and whatever you're doing, you don't have to stop what you're doing. You're learning and growing. And when something doesn't work out, that's just telling you, okay, maybe I should go in another direction, or it's just
Mm-hmm.
it gives us clues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, then how do you also believe in yourself? Is it the same thing, like incremental changes?
I needed first to have self-compassion. And when you have self-compassion and you start telling yourself those positive messages and you start to believe it, then it allows you to see things more clearly. So instead of being a victim to situations and circumstances, I've raised my consciousness, my level of awareness to see situations as what's the opportunity here? You build this trust within yourself. And there's definitely meditation. We want to shift our energy. If you're in the heat of the moment of something, I mean, for me, I listen to loud music and I start dancing.
Uh-huh.
Out helping ourselves, taking responsibility for.
Lea? The screen froze. Okay, she said, taking responsibility for ourselves, hopefully. Since the screen froze, we're on Zoom. Oh, there you are. Yay. Okay, you said taking responsibility.
We take responsibility for our thoughts and our emotions and our behaviors, but we want to start looking at things from a different perspective. And that's exactly what I do when I'm trying to help raise people's consciousness, is where being still enough to actually to hear where we're getting pulled to. That's where our intuition comes in. We're taking inspired action instead of grinding at things and working harder. And it's about making a commitment and a decision not to believe all the lies that we're telling ourselves, and
Mm-hmm.
not to make up the stories from that,
Mm-hmm.
that inner critic, that
Mm-hmm.
voice in our head.
Mm-hmm.
And being open to trying uh, new things and listening to others. And yeah,
I
that's.
love it. I love it. Okay, so if someone wakes up one morning and says, I must change, this is not the person or the life I wanted, what are some tips you can offer them, Lea, to change?
So first of all, for them to know that they do not have to go at this on their own. Support is out there. And the first thing is to reach out for support, because a lot of people, myself included, is that there's so much shame and guilt that you're so afraid to be judged that you don't reach out for support.
Mm.
And there's no judgment. It's about meeting you where you're at, and really just creating a safe space to listen and hear how I personally can add value. And
Mhm.
it's, based on my experiences and my education, the knowledge I've learned along the way, the wisdom, all of that. And it's really about uncovering like who we really are as opposed to who we think we are,
Oh,
because
I love that.
beliefs are
Yes.
really ingrained in us.
Uh-huh.
And we keep finding evidence. And if you were at a time, if you said to me, no, that's not true, I'd be, but look here, this is like I've got the evidence.
Uh-huh.
And it's just because whatever we believe is the direction that our life is going to play out, and that's what we manifest. And it took me a long time to understand that.
Mm.
But the first thing is not to believe that you have to do it alone, and to reach out for help.
Wow, I love that. So, if someone does come to you, what do you do? Do you work daily, weekly, monthly? How does it work when you're with a transformation and visibility coach?
So we work weekly, and of course, there's support in between there. But initially, the first thing is the transformational assessment that everybody does. So the first couple of sessions are longer. We really get to know each other, but it's
Mm-hmm.
real a real awakening with the assessment. And then weekly, we work on your agenda, whatever whatever comes up for you, because like I said, it's not a cookie cutter pathway, but what it is it sets you up for success,
Mm-hmm.
and it's long-term success. reacting, we're not doing things by default. And we look at what are the barriers, and we look at what's influencing our stress levels. And then we really learn and practice a way of living.
I love that. So, Lea, if people want to get in touch with you and work with you, where can they find you?
So there's my website, which is personalchapter.com. And my email is leah@personalchapter.com.
Okay,
And Instagram. Yeah.
I'll
And-
put those in the description box so
Okay.
people can connect with you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. This is really exciting because transformation is what we're all seeking. We all are trying to improve. So, you know what I love about you is that you use your personal story and your experience, and you have that grit because you've done it yourself. So, you can empathize, sympathize
Oh, absolutely.
with what people are going through when they want to change so desperately, which is so hard on your own because sometimes we're not accountable to ourselves, and certain issues such as food and addiction to alcohol, it's hard to be accountable to yourself. So having someone else is really, really wonderful. So
Absolutely.
what
And
are some
I
Mhm.
want I want people to know that they may not believe that it's possible, but I'm living proof that it's
Yeah.
possible.
Yes.
It's I was thinking back, like what kept me overweight for so long? And the truth of the matter is I didn't believe that I was meant to be thinner. I didn't believe
Mm.
I could be thinner. So
Mm-hmm.
again, that's another example. I just didn't believe it. So why bother trying? And that's
Interesting.
it keeps us in this trapped prison of our minds
Mm-hmm.
where we just don't believe it, so we don't even give it a try. But when I tell you that, I mean, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I lost weight 22 years ago and I maintained it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not like I'm talking, oh, I lost 100 pounds and it was yesterday.
Right.
It's about maintaining it because I have the emotional sobriety and the emotional healing that I did. And it's
Mm.
a process. So it's don't believe what you think right now is what I want to tell somebody who is struggling. And a lot of us have an invisible struggle. And on the outside, everything looks fine. And I'm just saying, don't believe that you think you can't, because you most definitely can.
Hmm. I love that you said invisible struggle because several guests on this show have, on the outside, they appear to be so accomplished and just have the whole perfect life. But then they're like, wait, there's something missing. There's a void. I need more. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to reach that next level. So I love that. That's really powerful.
Yeah, it's always filling a void, but it's we perfection, it's that word, because I'm trying to be a reformed perfectionist. But I've often heard the phrase, when you get it perfect, you're done. Well, I have many good years on this earth right now, so I don't want to be done. And being visible in your vulnerability is me sitting here who I'm not comfortable in the camera, and it's also me doing my television show, because
Wow.
yeah, exactly. And nothing's perfect about it. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the message is there. And my vision of wanting to support people was much stronger than my fear. And
Mhm.
that's why I continue to do what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And I know along the way that I'm just building the confidence.
I love it. That's amazing. I just love what you do, Leah, so very, very much.
Thank
So,
you.
is there any last message you'd like to share with people who are watching, especially women who want to transform into their greatest self?
Um, I'm going to use a line that I've been using lately. For anybody who wants to get a divorce or not happy in their marriage, a man is not a plan; it's a choice. And if you could use that phrase with anything that you want to do, remember, nothing's a plan, it's a choice. And when we are aware and accepting of things, we make conscious choices.
Mm,
No matter what we want to step into for our next chapter, we are at choice, and a lot of us don't realize that we are at choice. We think that we're not making choices. But like I said
mm,
earlier, our fears and our worries and our doubts are making choices for us. We're just not aware of it.
mm-hmm. Fascinating. I love that. Everything is a choice.
And
Wow, including our
and I
thoughts.
want to say being kind to yourselves. Um, you know, one example from Abraham Hicks that she gave is, if a child who's learning to walk, you know, it stumbles and falls, you're not going to say, "Get up, you little dummy." And I loved when she said that, because sometimes without thinking, I'll be doing something and I will talk to myself that way. And it snaps me out of it when I think about what she says, because it's true. Be aware of how you're speaking to yourself.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So powerful. Lea Gerlock, you are amazing. I am so grateful that you joined me here on the Goddess Power Show to share your brilliant mission to help other women transform to become the bosses that we're meant to be, the goddesses that we're meant to be.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
so welcome. You're welcome. Like I said, I'll put the links to your website and your email in the description box so people can get in touch with you. And thank you, all of you, for watching today as you got to meet Lea Gerlock, transformation and visibility coach in Toronto, Canada, who can work with anybody virtually. So grateful that you joined us tonight to share all of your wisdom and experience, which is such a dramatic story. So
Thank
thank you again.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. And all of you, please give us a thumbs up because this was such an awesome video. Please also subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Elizabeth Atkins. And please hop over to twosisterswriting.com and order my book that inspired this show, The BISS Tribe, Activating Your Goddess Power. It will teach you all the things you need to know to activate that amazing power within yourself. So please do. Um, Drop a comment. We'd love to hear what you thought about the interview. And meanwhile, boss up, goddess. You have the power. I'll see you next time.